We are back on the Florida Eels broadcast network for Game 2 of this doubleheader between the Florida Eels and the University of Tampa Spartans. Welcome back to the Clearwater Ice Arena. This is Nick Rush giving you the play-by-play of the action. We're about to see the Florida Eels Premier team take on University of Tampa. Just moments ago, we saw the Florida Eels Elite team take the ice, where they came away with a 2-1 shootout victory over the same University of Tampa squad. So this Tampa team, same guys out there for the second game. Let's see how they do as the puck is dropped and we are underway for this preseason exhibition matchup here in Clearwater. The Eels immediately backing into their own end as they skate from right to left across your computer screen in this first half of play. From left to right will move the Tampa Spartans. And yes, folks, keep in mind that rather than 3 periods of 20-minute hockey, we are going to see 2 halves, 25 minutes each. So let's see how it goes here today, as here's a wrist shot going over the head of the Tampa starting netminder, number 35, Michael Foray. In the elite contest moments ago, Tampa went with number 30, Salvatore Corallo. But for the second game, it's Foray in net. Meanwhile, for the Florida Eels, they're going to start with Victor Paulson in between the pipes off to the right side of my broadcast position as we have a fresh new game of hockey. Penemasov with the puck, the returning Florida Eel in his second season. Penemasov from Moscow, Russia, sweeps the puck up the near side dasher all the way back into Tampa ice as the Eels get their first line change of the hockey game. Paulson plays it out in front, and the Eels will work it from there. It's Clement Espinos, another returning Eel who played last season at the elite level, got the call up during training camp this year, and let's see how he does at the higher level of hockey. Cameron Carnes at his own blue line, forwards a pass to Colton Crabtree. However, it will be flagged away by Dominic Valerian. And now Colton Crabtree will quickly swipe it right on back here for the Eels. It's Espinos across the Tampa blue line. Down the far side dasher he will go. Pinned up against the boards there by Brett Sauer while he tried to center a pass for Jared Figueroa. That will not work out. Tampa flips it back on over, but the Eels will prevail back on their own side of the ice. Eels tending to the benches off to the right side of my broadcast position. Tampa sitting off to the left. And Tampa, they are donning their black uniforms here. White numbers on the back. Black pants. Black socks with the red stripes rolling around the sides and the black helmets. We'll tell you about the Eels uniform description in just a moment. These are the same uniforms which we saw moments ago between the elite Eels and the Tampa Spartans. Here's a 2-on-2 scramble. Eels own end, near side corner. Cameron Carnes jumping in there, and it's reloaded back up top to the right point for John Walsh. Walsh, he will rifle one, which is deflected wide of the cage, and eventually washed back out to center by the Tampa Spartans. UT will regroup. Give and go from John Walsh onto the stick of Nino Lopez. Lopez swings around the net from right to left. Now Hemstrom with a one-time drive in between the circles. That will be driven up the left wing wall. Turnovers back and forth in the early stages of this preseason contest. 24-35 left in the first half. It's 0-0. Another former Eels elite player, Jamin Swigert, comes sweeping on into the attacking zone. To the left circle, he will accompany Hayden Haldane, who provides the wrister on to Corallo, who will make the save. And we do have a correction. That is Salvatore Corallo in between the pipes for his second straight game today, not Michael Foray as we originally believed. Corallo makes a cover up here for another stoppage. And of course, we do ask that you please bear with us here throughout these preseason games. What's interesting is that some of these players, they wear different numbers, and this is especially for the Eels and what we've seen through training camp. They're wearing different numbers today than what they've worn all throughout training camp. And the numbers which they wear today, these will be the numbers we see them in throughout the regular season. Of course, the Eels, during training camp practices, they use their own practice jerseys, which may feature a different number than they're used to. So some things here and there can be a little confusing in the preseason, but hey, we'll work right through it. Here's Jamin Swigert getting it pickpocketed away by Ryan Ryder. Ryder will clear it on in here for the Florida Eels. They're sporting their home white uniforms. Black numbers on the front and back. Black pants, green socks with the white stripes rolling around the sides. And the black helmets. Here's Nikita Pinamasov struggling to keep the puck alive across the center line. He'll hand it on over to Eels newcomer Jan Kalinowski. And the puck will pop up in the air, carry him off of the Clearwater Ice Arena ceiling for a stoppage of play. Here at Clearwater Ice Arena, has a nice size to it. It's not too large, not too small. Same can be said for the roof. Not too high, not too low. Especially when you compare it to the Fort Myers Stadium, the Florida Eels home ice rink, where that roof is, or the ceiling, to better describe it, is lower. So you see a lot of pucks going off the ceiling. And that right there was the first time we've seen that happen all day. It didn't happen at all in the Eels Elite game just moments ago. Incomplete pass here for Pinamasov, reunited with it. Here's a breakaway, wrist shot, and a goal! Nikita Pinamasov on the breakaway puts the Eels on top. 1-0, 22:33 to go in the first half. Now, what a beauty of a play there from the returning man, Nikita Pinamasov. It was an incomplete pass intended to him. Goes off the stick, but he's able to regain control, work his way past the defenseman, and put one right through the 5-hole of Salvatore Corallo. Colton Crabtree pops up the biscuit right off the draw, spins one in front for Figueroa with an impressive wrister and an even better glove save made by Salvatore Corallo. Left hand there, and it was a shot which was a high riser. It appears that it might have been trailing towards the pipe, if not over the net, but either way, Corallo not wanting to take any risks, and rightfully so. Espinosa taking a little bit of a stick there on the shoulder from Brett Sauer. Incomplete pass has the puck skittering its way up to the right point to the half wall. Now it's Carter Haynes. Haynes delivers it up to the midpoint for Figueroa. Figueroa has it sputtering back on over to the blue line. Now out at center. Tampa will regroup. Carter Haynes heading back to the benches here for Tampa on a line change. Meanwhile, here's Hemstrom trying to catch the Spartans sleeping. Down to the left circle, pried up into midair by Gabe Hemstrom, trying to light the lamp, but Tampa able to get a step ahead there. Left here in the first half, 21 minutes, 10 seconds. Eels lead 1-0 off of a goal moments ago coming from Nikita Pinamasov. Now it's Cam Carnes. Cam Carnes down the right dasher. Stops at the half wall. Pinned on through to the right wing circle now. Hemstrom keeps the disc alive. And now Jan Kalinowski lowers the boom on a Spartan right in front of the Tampa benches. And that was William Cody there who took the brunt of it. Now 3-on-2, and it goes off the pipe from Kalinowski. Kalinowski got to the near side circle there, and he caught Corallo. Wrong place, wrong time, but it dings off of the pipe left side. A matter of inches from making this a 2-0 game, but yet again, that's not the case. Now Gavin Medina with a pass sliding in between his skates. Tampa will restart the drive from their own goal line off to the left side. Now on to far dasher. Fumbling around with it will be Medina. Incomplete pass here for Tampa. Back down the ice, the biscuit will go. Officials wave off the icing. And the Eels will turn it back over. It's Kalinowski across the blue line. Kalinowski to the left circle. Kalinowski with a shot and a rebounder which goes wide. Now a wraparound here for Medina, and he gets taken down to the ice by Harrington. Loaded back up to the blue line, and the Eels are caught with an offside. Nice energy here for the Florida Eels Premier team, especially after yesterday, where they fell 2-0 against the USF Ice Bulls in their preseason scrimmage opener. So they're looking to redeem themselves here today, but yet again, it's not necessarily about who comes on top. But if you're a junior hockey team and you can defeat a team that's at a higher level than you are, that's definitely something to be proud of. And a good sign heading into the season. Of course, University of Tampa, they're an ACHA college hockey club that plays at the Division III level. Here's Hayden Haldane whacking the puck into the attacking end. Pinamasov swooping on in near goal line. Held on in by Medina. Now Pinamasov trying to look for his second goal of the game. But it's spun on out to center. Relayed here for Hayden Haldane. And the Eels regroup back in front of their goaltender, Paulson. Now Colton Crabtree coming out onto the ice off of a line change. Tampa gets the dump in. Crabtree chasing after it to the far side. Dasher, he'll loop it on up for Jamin Swigert. And Hayden Haldane not able to grasp on top of it. Up and down the ice we go yet again. And the first half, which thus far has seen more than plenty of turnovers between both the Eels and the University of Tampa. Now taking his time with his Dominic Valerian across the blue line. Tries to go up the left side. But he'll get sandwiched in between a pair of defenders. Jared Figueroa. Pass too far outstretched for him there, and Brett Sauer will capitalize. And you can really see how many returning players are coming back here to the Florida Eels Premier squad. The returning players, they have their last names on their jerseys. The new players do not. They just have their number on the back. So that's how you can distinguish the new players from the old ones. Here's Jan Kalinowski chipping away at it. Eels trying to work it in the attacking territory. Not able to get too far with it. Crabtree hustling back off the ice. Now playing it behind the cage is Victor Paulson. But I would like to say that a majority of these players do have their last names on the back of the jerseys. Now, University of Tampa, on the other hand, none of those players have names on the back of their jerseys, and that's just how they prefer it throughout the regular season. They're even like that. So for the Florida Eels program, definitely an added touch there to the uniforms. And now here's a 2-on-1 for Florida. Right wing circle. Carnes in front. Carnes not able to put a shot on as the puck will brush just wide left. Hemstrom catches a flyer out of midair. Slap shot to midpoint. And it's over the net with a blow of the whistle. And that was a hand pass there coming up. Gabe Hemstrom there. Caught it out of midair. Accidentally had the hand pass in effect. Nice pressure here from the Eels thus far as they lead by 1. And the Eels, they definitely do have the upper hand here in this particular matchup. Because this University of Tampa team, this same squad, they just got finished playing a full contest against the Florida Eels elite team, where the elite Eels came away with a 2-1 shootout victory. And now they have to go up in a new game against a fresh new Eels Premier program, which is not played yet today. So although Tampa's the higher level of action and they're the college hockey club here, they're at the disadvantage. And they were able to prove that early with the goal from Pinamasov. Just moments after the opening puck drop, now a 2-on-1 being provided there by Patrick Walsh of the Spartans, but able to flash the leather off the right hand was the Eels netminder Victor Paulson. And it's great to see some of these former elite players get the call up to the premier level. Jamin Swigert and Clement Espinosa, two of them to be exact, as they both head back to the benches on the line change. Well, they have been working continuously throughout the course of the offseason, and I mean the entirety of the offseason. They played in the Eels offseason showcases, the Chowder Cup, the USPHL Summer Showcase. The Eels fielded plenty of teams in those off-season showcases, and Jamin Swigert and Espinosa, they were two of them. There really was no off-season for them. And now we see another exchange of words break out. Two players start throwing at each other. And you see a big scramble of players jump right on in to break it up. And hopefully we don't see too much more of this carrying over from the last game, because in that Eels elite game, things sure got ugly. Nikita Pinamasov heading to the penalty box here. And a Tampa player should be going in as well. We're just not sure exactly who it is yet. And now coming in is Chris Fernandez. So it's Fernandez and Pinamasov picking up coincidentals. And these will both be 2-minute roughing calls. So 4-on-4 coming up here as we have exactly 15 minutes to spare. And half number one, Eels up by 1. Keep in mind, this is a 2-half hockey game. And between the two halves, we will have an intermission for the players to cool down and analyze their play so far. That's a big part of the preseason, for the guys to sit down and see where they can improve. Kalinowski slashes it forward to Figueroa. Figueroa will drop it on back for J.P. Montmarquette. Looper going to Crabtree, and now Crabtree going to hustle it across the Eels' own blue line. Up against the penalty box boards he goes. Swung back out by the juniors. And to be exact, it's Valerian earning the turnover. Straight up ahead for Carter Haynes. Haynes able to shake off Kalinowski. Figueroa able to get some assistance in turning over the biscuit. And so far, a little bit sloppy play coming up from both teams thus far. But don't get me wrong, it hasn't been bad action thus far, but both teams still trying to get a feel of things. I was able to talk to Eels Premier player Cameron Carnes, a forward here on this team. And one thing he told me is that although this team was able to get plenty of action going and the off-season working out in the gym every day, they didn't get nearly as much ice time as they wanted to. So some of these guys still trying to get a feel for things, and that's what the preseason games are all about. 8 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. And we're now back to full strength. Struggling along with it is Nino Lopez. Lopez chips it off of the Tampa benches, off to the left side of my broadcast position. Eels taking their seats off to my right. Here's a pass that goes off the tape of JT Maloney and onto the Eels bench, where everyone's able to dodge that one. Two officials calling this game today, both of them from the ACHA. Very commonly in USPHL games for the regular season, you see the three-man crew, but today we're working with a pair. A little bit of interleague action, if you will. Eels from the USPHL Junior Hockey League. And the University of Tampa is from the ACHA. And to be exact, at the Division III level. As I get my words straight up here in the broadcast booth, here's Cameron Carnes. Pinned up against the boards, far side corner in a 2-on-2 scramble. There's a nice one put on by Jamin Swigert. And then another pad save made with some more physicality afterwards. .12:08 to go now in the first. Eels 1, University of Tampa 0 thus far, and we're going to have a penalty coming up here going up against Cameron Carnes. High sticking call will be the final verdict. Cameron Carnes, in his final year of junior hockey eligibility, looking for the outbreak season here as a Florida Eels forward. Face off to the right wing circle, dropped all the way back out to center here. First one to touch up on is Brett Sauer. Sauer stops between the circles. Slashed over to Maloney. Maloney hustling up, Crabtree in his way. Able to get to the blue line, splits the defenders. And backed up by Valerian. Valerian dashes it down to the corner. Now Crabtree the other way. Crabtree with a 2-on-1 setup. Shot, save, rebound. And it is a shade away. And now here's a 2-on-1 for Tampa. Led by Maloney, right circle. Shot and a goal. JT Maloney got in the near circle and puts one home over the left shoulder of Victor Paulson. It is 1-1 with 11:25 left to go in the first. So that takes some wind out of the sails of the Florida Eels. And that's exactly what University of Tampa needed. At first, they were struggling. The Eels were setting the pace of play. And now let's see how the Eels are able to regroup after giving up that first goal. Not a whole lot could have been done there for Victor Paulson, as it was just a nice shot which beat him out there. And that is a power play goal, keep in mind, as Cameron Carnes comes out of the box. So Tampa able to tie the game off the man advantage. And now here's Hayden Haldane, shipping it over to JP Marquette, waiting for it at the half wall right wing side. Now down at the goal line. This one will be Carnes. Carnes knocks down a man. And to be exact, that'll be Carter Haynes. Haynes heads back to the benches. Carnes will do the same. Haldane at the halfway marker of the ice goes forward for Espinoss. Now advanced. And between the circles, Espinoss with a wrister. And it's wide off to the right side. Spinning it around is Chris Fernandez. Fernandez waits for a moment, lays it behind the cage for Kuslik. Kuslik will shatter it down the ice. And now Figueroa trying to go long for Espinoss. Espinoss has him maneuvered away there, courtesy of Gavin Crockett. Crockett in a duel there, has it popped high up. Now Figueroa at the left point. Stripped away, not able to get an opportunity as Crockett there. And he's not able to save it in time before it goes back on out to the neutral zone. Not able to properly play it is Valerian. Valerian banged up against the Eels boards. With the hit is Espinosa. Stopped behind the net by Paulson. Cleared up the right wall. Pinned against the boards is Figueroa. Figueroa breaks loose. No shot comes off. And a cover on the way there from Corallo. So both teams really duking it out here thus far. 9:23 left here in the opening half. 1-1 between the Premier Eels and the Tampa Spartans. It's something we discussed back in the first half, or rather in the last game with the Elite Eels and Tampa Spartans. We'll tell you about the coaches. As a reminder, the Eels are coached by Frank Scarpacci and Alex Sanchez. They are the two coaches within the Florida Eels organization. Frank Scarpacci is the head coach of the Florida Eels Premier team. Sanchez is the Premier assistant. Now on the Elite team, it's reversed. You have Sanchez as the head coach and Scarpacci as the assistant. Well, all together, they've been working well here in the early stages of camp. Just last year, we had 4 coaches within the Eels organization, and 2 of them went to both teams. So these are full-time coaches here, and thus far, they've had a very positive impact on these players. Talked to Cameron Carnes and Hayden Haldane, and they both told me during training camp that their best memory of playing hockey in general is just getting the training that they have from Coach Scarpacci, General Manager Frank Scarpacci, and also Alex Sanchez. We'll have a draw out at center ice here. Cameron Carnes leaning on in, and the Eels will touch up on it first, courtesy of Kalinowski. Kalinowski ran into by Carter Haynes in front of the Eels bench. Now playing it around the net is Ryder. Ryder bashes it on out to neutral ice. Kalinowski to Carnes. Carnes ships it across in a feeder over to Montmarquette. Getting the last laugh is Jared Balzerini. Balzerini getting it up to the midpoint. Eels get it out of their own end. To the opposing side they go for Carnes. Carnes in the left circle puts one straight to the pads of Salvatore Corallo. Eels showing a little bit of frustration as Tampa keeps the resistance going. Hemstrom gets shoved down as he releases a shot, and Corallo puts an end to it. Cody William and Gavin Crockett come out on the ice along with Chris Toma. The 3-man line change on the way for Tampa. Pinamasov and Haldane, the fresh bodies on the way out for the Eels. Haldane getting a rocket of a shot right off the puck drop in the circle. Corallo will halt it, and here's another opportunity for Florida as they win the draw. Down to goal line, it's Pinamasov, left side. Flung on through for William Cody. William Cody halted by Haldane. Haldane the other way with a 2-on-2, assisted by Pinamasov, and it goes across the goal mouth and down to the left corner. William Cody hustles it down to the other direction in front of Victor Paulson, the Eels starting netminder. Eels will stick it the other way now. Long distance shot coming from the right point. And that one was courtesy of Medina. Now Medina outside the left circle, puts one high over the net. Espinosa cruising on into the right point. And we will have a penalty here. It's a tripping on the way. Let's see who this one will go against. It will be Tampa. Getting in a trip being assessed to Chris Toma. First power play of the game coming up here for the Florida Eels. University of Tampa, they had a power play as well earlier on here in the first, where they were able to capitalize off of it and tie this game at 1 apiece. Score still stands 1-1. 6 minutes and a half left until the halfway marker of this exhibition contest. Kalinowski plays it at the blue line. Short one for Crabtree. Cross for Figueroa. Left circle. Back up top for Jan. And he's not able to get it on goal. Kalinowski once again with another try. Loops it down to the right circle. Medina tries to go through. But yet again, they come up short. And now we're going to have 2 players go at it. And now we have an all-out Donnybrook behind the net. 2 players go down. Officials jump in the way. It looks like we have 4 players all together pushing and shoving back and forth. And Colton Crabtree's one of them. He comes out of that with his helmet knocked off. Oh! He threw that towards the bench, and he's going to be ejected. There's no way he's staying in the game after that. Crabtree threw the helmet in the direction of the Tampa benches, and that's where, yeah, he's out of the game. Unbelievable. Scary situation. Oh, my goodness. Well, it was supposed to be Crabtree and Figueroa heading to the penalty box. Right now, Crabtree's going to be out of the game. Figueroa's in the penalty box. And the 2 players for Tampa sitting down are Nick Kozlik and Chris Toma. Man, so definitely a lot of talk here today between the fans and the players, and oh my goodness. Well, we're going to take a break, folks. 6:16 left to go in the first half. It's 1-1, and we'll get things settled out here from Clearwater Ice Arena. All right, fans, we are back here on the Florida Eels Broadcast Network. 6:16 left to go in half number 1, where your score is 1-1. We come back after a ton of drama. Colton Crabtree has been ejected from the game, and it's crazy to say, but hey, time to focus back to hockey. And chirping continues back and forth between the 2 penalty boxes. Jared Figueroa is in the penalty box and talking back and forth with a pair of Tampa players. Oh, goodness, what a day it's been here at the Clearwater Ice Arena. Here's Nikita Pinamasov up at the right point. High up to the blue line, it's raised. Now dropped on down to the goalkeeper, and there's a blow of the whistle. And now another crowd is going to join. Well, moments ago, we saw 4 players, 2 for each team, get up on each other. A little bit of an altercation. And there were 2 penalties, both of them roughing for Tampa, and 2 roughing calls for the Florida Eels. And then Colton Crabtree acted on his emotions a little more afterwards, and that caused him to be ejected from the game. Figueroa is still in the penalty box all by himself, and what a first half it has been. The game started moments after puck drop with a goal from Nikita Pinamasov to help the Eels draw first blood. Now Nikita Pinamasov, speaking of him, here he is down to the right circle. Cruises on in. Save made with a rebounder down on his stomach as Corallo is able to haul it out. Pinamasov looking for a second chance. Save, and you'll plop on top of it. Corallo saves the day. Medina now coming out onto the ice. 4-on-4 off for the Eels. 3-on-3 off for the Tampa Spartans. And once again, it's so important to just let the cooler heads prevail, especially here in these preseason games. It's all about getting your reps in, getting ready for the regular season. But hey, it's the game of hockey, and you never know what's going to throw at you, that's for sure. It's a physical, hard-hitting game, and emotions run high. It's as simple as that. So Jared Figueroa is up on his feet, and he will be leaving in 10 seconds. 4-on-4 is about to end. We're about to go to 5-on-5. Figueroa is still chirping back and forth with Nick Kozlik. And now at the left point, it's Hemstrom. Hemstrom has to back it on over for Kamenowski. Kamenowski banks it down the wall, and it will carry its way up the opposing end. Now down to the left point here for Hemstrom. Hemstrom laps it up high. Hemstrom now with a shot, and that will not get on net. It's Cameron Carnes across the blue line. Eels able to save it to prevent the offside. They string it across the line down there. Carnes, up the gut he will go. Wheeled out to Corallo, and he will slap the puck back down to the Eels netminder, Victor Paulson. Thus far, the Eels Premier team looking very sharp here in this preseason action, showing why they belong on the top ranking. Now it's Valerian trying to chase down the disc, but beating him out to it is Paulson. Paulson flips it up the right dasher. Saved by Ryder. Ryder shreds it down to the right circle. Now it's Carnes. Carnes off to his right side to Hemstrom. Hemstrom gets juked away by Valerian, and Tampa will keep the offensive drive rolling after backing it up a little bit. Continuing with it is Toma. Toma with a cross-feeder right side for Zidon. Zidon into the near circle. Tried to set up Valerian for a one-timer, but yet again, Eels defense remaining strong. And both teams really frustrating each other with the strong defense thus far. Now getting all alone and popping it up is Wusiga. Wasn't able to get the shot off, however, as it was a quick scare there for Paulson. Now Paulson takes one off the right pad with the attempt from Chris Fernandez. Fernandez washes it down to the corner where Carnes will pick it up. Carnes sliding it on up towards the blue line, and he's able to get it out of there successfully. Carnes back to the benches. Jamin Swigert coming on out for him. Jamin Swigert, the defenseman, a big hit down there on Hayden Haldane. And Tampa's own ice just off to the left of Corallo. 1 minute 52 seconds to go until halftime. And that half intermission is exactly what we need right now to calm things down a little bit. Now you can see some of the fatigue start to set in among the players, so it's only best for everyone at this point. Benemasov will be taking this face-off for the Eels to the left of Corallo. And now there's a Tampa player heading to the penalty box here. It's Chris Fernandez, and he came right off the benches. Oh, that was very strange. Originally, there was not a penalty called. However, Fernandez was on the benches, and the official told him to get in the penalty box. Something surely must have been said. Little scramble in front here for the Florida Eels. Now it's Benemasov squaring it on over left side for Kamenowski. Kamenowski gets it on over here for Benemasov. Benemasov stays high up there at the blue line. Circled around here for Swigert. Now it's Hemstrom with a shot. Pad saved by Corallo, and it's lifted on out to center ice here. right now on this power play. 1 minute to go, and there's also 1 minute left here in this period, where the Eels are tied up with Tampa by a 1-1 score. Pinamasov with the wraparound. Close call there. Eels not able to finish it off. There's a rebounder hitting Corallo right in the pads from Swigert. And Pinamasov gets it back up top to Jan Kamenowski. And it's right into the midsection of Corallo. Hayden Haldane and Jared Figueroa now out there for the Eels. And now Jared Figueroa being pressed back in the Eels' own ice. Both teams really starting to slow it down now, but there's still 25 seconds here to work with. Stopping the puck behind the cage was Corallo. Now Kamenowski able to get that dump in there. All the way back from the Eels' zone. That's 7 seconds left to work with here. And now it's Jared Figueroa. Figueroa up through the center. And time runs out as Swigert was trying to hustle that one in at the last possible moment. So after your first 25 minutes of regulation, we have reached the halftime intermission here in this game between the Premier Eels and the University of Tampa Spartans. And your score, the Florida Eels 1 and the Tampa Spartans 1. We'll take a quick break and come back right after this. Live from the Clearwater Ice Arena, you are tuned into the Florida Eels Broadcast Network.